Now it's a ground ball to Naylor. Play at the plate. And the throw is not a good one. And Melendez is going to be out. And MJ, by the way, immediately motioned to the dugout thinking that he was safe. Royals are going to challenge a block violation here.
Look at that. I mean, Melendez looked like he got his hand in there. Forget about the block. I mean, that was a heck of an athletic tumble there that he was able to get it.
So here's the setup. And there's no
tag. He touched the plate.
Running lane, so the Royals are challenging both.
After review, there is no blocking by the catcher. However, the call on the field is overturned. The runner is safe. Kansas City will keep its challenge.
Good evening, everyone, and it feels like it has been a long time since I've been able to say it on the Royals recap, but hey, the Kansas City Royals were victorious tonight against the Cleveland Guardians, closing out a rain-shortened 2-game stretch in their city, splitting it, thankfully, so we ain't here talking about no series sweep or nothing like that. If we really count it, let's go ahead and talk about today's thrilling game. But first, I do want to point y'all to RoyalsReview.com. You could have enjoyed today's game with a game thread. You could have read about it a lot sooner than you're listening to this recap by reading their game recap. A lot of great work going on over there at RoyalsReview.com. You could also follow them on X and Facebook at Royals Review. So today's 4-3 Royals victory was one in come from behind fashion, which was a welcome sight, I guess, after Tuesday's ugly loss, blowing that 5-0 lead. And this was a great palate cleanser ahead of the Royals coming back to Kauffman Stadium. This really, I get it, we didn't have a game on Wednesday, which kind of left us to stew over Tuesday's loss a little bit more, but hopefully you listened to our full-length episode and that helped assuage your fears. And the Royals look like the team that should have lost today's game, but despite all odds, they got the job done, and that is what winning teams do. Let's go ahead and run down the lineup real quick. Michael Garcia, 1 hit today and scoring 1 run. Bobby Witt Jr., he did have 2 punch outs today, unfortunately, but also drew a walk and 1 hit on his own. Benny Pasquantino, the double man, if you will, posting two baggers today against the Cleveland Guardians. Also, he had a ribby and just 1 strikeout. Salvador Perez was the ugly note in the Royals lineup, unfortunately going hitless today, walkless, did not reach base, and struck out 2 times. He is in a little bit of a slump, if you will. And I'm not saying he's a liability with runners in scoring position, but he's not producing like he was last month, so maybe something to keep an eye on, but I'm not punting on Salvi yet. Freddie Fermin calling the game from behind the dish and batting 5th today, scored 1 run, had a hit, and also had 1 walk, so pretty good there. And also, you can look at his 2 strikeouts. Those strikeouts were ugly. I mean, that ball was very, very far outside of the strike zone, and it was the exact same spot that got called a strike both times. And I'm sorry, there's no way that Freddie is taking a swing at that ball and trying to make up for the umpire's mistakes. So I'm very, very happy with Freddie's game today. MJ Melendez had the play of the game, which you just heard from Ryan Lefevre and Rex Hudler. It was thrilling. Go check it out on social media if you haven't seen it already. It's one of the best base running plays you will see this season. It's going to be replayed over and over on Royals hype videos following this season. Hunter Renfroe continued his strong 15-game streak, having 15 hits in the last 15 games. He had 2 today, including a ribby, so good on you, Hunter. Garrett Hampson had a hit today. Adam Frazier did as well. Also came around to score a run on Freddie Fermin's RBI, I believe it was. And then Kyle Isbel. I think he's the unheralded hero of today. He led the Royals with 2 RBI of his own. He had a hit. He had an amazing diving play out in center field. First time seeing him back in for a full game since he got knocked out with that non-concussive head or neck injury. Kyle looked just fine, looked right as rain, so very, very good to see him patrolling center field again. One person who is not happy to be in Cleveland, unfortunately, was Brady Singer, who has done okay in Cleveland in previous starts, but today just did not have it. Only pitched 3 2/3 innings, giving up 9 hits in that stretch with 2 earned runs, 1 walk, and only 2 strikeouts. Plus, he gave up a Jose Ramirez solo shot deep to right field. But the real heroes today were the bullpen. I mean, when you look at the lineup of Will Smith, Angel Zerpa, Sam Long, John Schreiber, and James MacArthur, it might not offer a lot of, confidence. But Will Smith pitched 1 1/3 inning, had 2 strikeouts. Zerpa had a strikeout and a walk on his own, clean inning. Sam Long, clean inning, getting his first win in a Kansas City Royals uniform. He did have 2 walks, but all in all, nothing on the scoreboard. John Schreiber earned yet another hold, pitching a hitless inning of his own with 1 strikeout. And then James MacArthur earned his 12th save on the year, facing the 1-2-3 hitters in the Cleveland lineup. So he had a tall task, and he delivered. So very, very happy to see that from the general, James MacArthur. If you can go back and look at the box score if you don't believe me. But hear this. The Royals bullpen today pitched 5 1/3 innings after Singer's exit. They didn't allow a hit. They didn't allow a single run. They barely struck out more guys than they walked. But for these guys that we've been worried about, they're gonna let guys get on base, mainly by hits. That is their kryptonite, and they can't induce swing and misses. They didn't do a great job of that today, but they came in, they propped up Singer, who was having a rough day. He just didn't have it today. I mean, 70 pitches through less than 4 innings is just not going to get it done. He was putting the ball in the zone, but his stuff wasn't sharp. The Guardians lineup was just getting to him, and honestly, good on Q for not letting him stay in there. I mean, after the off day on Wednesday, and you had an off day to start off the week, those bullpen arms were fresher. They were going to be more fresh than they normally would be at this point in the season. So thankfully, he leaned on them, and they delivered. That's the important part. They delivered when trusted. So good on the pitching crew. Wasn't a perfect game, but it is another win for the Kansas City Royals. Still sitting in second place in the AL Central. A few games behind the Guardians, but that is okay. They didn't lose ground. I think that was the concern after Tuesday's loss, is that they were going to lose more ground in the AL Central, but they continue to maintain and gain some ground in the wild card standings. So keep an eye on that as well. Overall, your boys in blue are sitting at 37-26 to start off the year. We are now less than 100 games left in the season. You heard that right. All right, we have 98 games, if I'm doing my math correctly. Don't quote me there. We have 98 games left in the season. All right, time is ticking. And if you want to stay up to date on all things Kansas City Royals, the best place to do that is over at RoyalsReview.com. Trade season is about to hit. You need to stay up to date on that. We're seeing a lot of prospect moves go up and down. Chris Bubich is, you need the information on, is he going to rejoin the Royals rotation, or is he going to be a factor in this team down the stretch? You can find all those answers and more over at RoyalsReview.com. Coming up on the other side of the ad break, we will hear from center fielder Kyle Isbel and also manager Matt Quatraro as the team heads back to Kauffman Stadium. Stay tuned.
Game-winning RBI, a couple of them on the day. This was a grinded-out day with 2 very good teams. How significant is this win with the way things went Tuesday and then having to sit on it for an extra day?
Yeah, no, it's huge. It's huge. It's going to be good games against them all the time. They're a good team. We're a great team. Little mini splashes from Salvi and Bobby. All right, continue your thought. Yeah, no, it was a great team win. I mean, Brady got us started offense. We kept rolling. The bullpen was excellent. I want to ask you about Brady, because you are a guy that knows what it's like to come back after having been ill, and you've dealt with a million things at this point. It's not fun, I'm sure. It's not easy. How difficult is that to grind out there when you haven't had your health? Yeah, I mean, clearly it's a dogfight, I mean, going out there is tough, especially when you're sick. I think his velo was a tick down, but it just shows you what kind of person he is. He competes no matter what kind of circumstances it is, and he did a hell of a job.
Tell me about that last step bat. What's your thought process? You were able to get the run in beforehand, and then with the beautiful hit there, what are you thinking?
Yeah, just drive him in. I got a chance late in the game to take the lead, and that's what I was thinking.
Last thing, this is just 2 games. You got 11 more to go with them. You got a long season, but do you get a sense of what these games against a first-place team in your division might be like?
Yeah, it's going to be a dogfight every day. Like I said, it's a really good team over there, and we battled and played really well and got the win.
I should say, too, I'll add one more. The job of the bullpen, what'd you think?
Yeah, the bullpen was amazing. They did incredible, and they've been great all year.
Great to see you back healthy in one piece. We'll see you at Kauffman Stadium tomorrow night.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't know if he had much of a choice, right? The thing about those plays with the infield they almost never are going to get the blocking call, and it's an interesting part of that rule. I think what helped us there was Naylor hesitated a little. I think the ball right before it was almost identical. I know a different guy fielded it, but and we didn't go on the other one. Maybe there was a slight hesitation, but MJ, that's incredible athleticism to be able to do that and still touch the plate. All those things go through my mind is, did he touch? Did they tag him? Because there's different rules and ways to appeal all those kinds of things. So, but clearly turned out to be a huge spot in the game.
How would you describe MJ? I know it's been really tough for him at the plate, but we've talked about he's been able to help in the field, and then today, that's a huge play for him. Yeah,
and he walked too. That set up one of the other innings. I've lost track of what inning it was, but it's tough. He's not swinging the bat the way he would like or that we would like, and he's well aware of that. Nobody's going to wear that more than the person that's struggling. But for him to compartmentalize there and help us win a ball game is huge.
Izzy with the go-ahead run, but he finally comes through with runners in scoring position. Just what did you see with his approach there and being able to get that run in? Yeah, well, Izzy played a good game. He had the really nice catch in left center. He had that play right there, or the hit that you're talking about. We got to think too that it's not been easy for him this last month. He's going out there competing at a high level, and he's been pretty beat up physically, mentally, all those kinds of things. So really happy for him that he was able to come through there. How did you feel Brady's start overall? Yeah, they made him work. They made a lot of contact. There were balls that got through. That's what these guys do. They routinely put the ball in play. They found a lot of holes on him today, and we had to. Luckily for us, there was a chance with a well-rested bullpen there to not overtax him and make him go through that lineup again, because they're really tough. You talked about it, coming back, and they did it to you guys Monday. You guys do it to them. How does it feel to be on the other side of things? Better, yeah. But look, every game is like that for the most part. You get down, you can't be out of it. And our guys really embody that attitude and the ability to just keep pushing. And it's somebody different every day. And I know they've gone through a lot of those too. And and that's why the teams are winning. Did you see any fatigue with Brady near the end of that? I know it was only 7-8 pitches, but... No, I didn't think it was a fatigue issue. I just thought matchup-wise and, where we were and all that kind of stuff and how we were set up, I thought it was the best thing to do. But I wasn't concerned with his pitches at all. Facing all... Put that out. It's live. Oh, it is? Facing lefty hitters the entire way through that lineup, how tough was it for him to get the ball inside to them today? Yeah, good question. You had a better vantage point than I did for where the pitches ended up, but he generally gets the ball into lefties pretty well. It's actually the other side that he doesn't pitch to as frequently. So I think some of those four-seamers, that was the goal, to go away and keep them straight. But I don't have a great answer for you on the locations.
All right, y'all, let's get to your Spotify Q&A responses. So if you want to make your voice heard here on the podcast, you want to reach out to us, please feel free to. Best place to do that is on the Spotify Q&A. After every single episode, I have a question, and hopefully you have an answer. So let's run through the responses to the Royals recap from June the 4th. So Tuesday's very, very ugly game. Ginger620 says, very frustrating, but we've seen this team play worse against Cleveland before. And yeah, it's just, we talk about Kansas City's struggles against the Twins on their home field. It feels like for too long we've been seeing the Guardians get the better of the Royals while the Royals are on the road. Seth says, is Bobby trying to do too much at times? trying to make the double play by himself or going halfway into the outfield trying to make a play, Isbel collision, and several other outfield confusions. Yeah, sometimes it does seem like that, Seth. I will say that. But something that gives me some solace is Bobby Witt Jr. is one of the most talented players in the league. And there are some mental lapses. Okay, when he starts to think too much and not trust his instincts and trust his reactions, that's when he makes mistakes. We saw that on Tuesday. All right, and I think he knew how many outs there were. After I've settled on that, I don't think there was confusion about how many outs there were. I genuinely think that Bobby thought he had the raw speed to beat the base runner to the bag, and he didn't want to throw. I think he was trying to remove that variable from things. It happens. Mistakes do happen. To err is to be human. Seth, I do think that he tries to do too much sometimes, but that is because he can do too much and make it look normal. Christopher says too many mental errors on defense. And yeah, we did see a couple of errors today. Michael Garcia, he just, I don't want to say he booted a ball. It was a hard hit ball, but just glancing off his glove going into left field. And that's not what we're used to seeing from Michael. I still believe that this left side of the infield is one of the best defensive ones in the league. You can look at the numbers if you'd like to prove me wrong, prove me right, whatever. Just let me know what you think. If you disagree or agree with me, you can reach out on X at Jacob Milham KC. All right, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. Thank you so much for joining for tonight's Royals recap. Tune in this weekend as the boys in blue are back in Kauffman Stadium. Looking forward to it. My name is Jacob Milham, and until next time, go Royals.